Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about a headline that appeared a couple of times over the weekend here. This is Mexico City water crisis nearing day zero, 23 hours ago. Today's the 26th, so this was out on Sunday, February 25th. And it's right here too on Live Science 8 hours ago. So this came out on the 26th, February 26th, 2024. Mexico City could be just months away from running out of drinking water. And CNN right here, February 25th, 2024, one of the world's biggest cities may be just months away from running out of water. The AP, they had an article about it here. Mexico imposes severe months-long water restrictions as drought dries up its reservoirs. And this was back in November of 2023. So they've been looking at this for a while. And back in November 2023, Mexican officials imposed severe months-long cuts to Mexico City water supply at midnight Friday, acting just a month after initial restrictions were ordered as drought dries the capital's reservoirs. So, we've been hearing a lot about this in the southeast of the United States, but right now in Mexico, they say that it's nearing day zero. That one of the world's largest and most densely populated cities could be on the verge of running out of water. And right here, in some recent days, some citizens have protested in the streets to raise awareness of the shortages. Okay. So I think everybody's aware. It's just people don't act, and people just keep using water. And, but right here, protesters have taken their frustrations to the National Water Commission. Okay. And they blocked vital roads to draw attention to the lack of water. Homes are, as in some of these articles, you'll see homes are running dry. People have, go without water for days. It's, but right here, they say that, it's even worse and things are more complicated. They're capturing their dirty bathwater to flush the toilet. And they say the weather and drought are making life even harder. And, they're blaming the drought, but this is a metropolis of about 25 million people. And their biggest water supplier is an aquifer that sits underneath the city. Home to 22 million people, they say here. But their biggest water supply is an underground aquifer. Roughly 60% of Mexico City's water comes from an underground aquifer, and the remainder is pumped uphill from outside the city. But the aquifer has been overused, causing the land to sink at a rate of around 20 inches a year since 1950. That's just short of 2 feet a year for over about 70 years now. So, and yeah, the rest of the water is pumped uphill because Mexico City, these articles say it sits at over 7,000 feet. And so the water has to be pumped uphill, but this is how much they are taking water out of the aquifer for a very long time, that the land on top of the aquifer is sinking at about 20 inches a year since 1950. So this isn't a new problem. Okay? It's just not. But we have a city of 22 million people in the city and its, outlying areas that they say right here, we have to consider that day zero is now because the rivers are contaminated, the springs are overexploited. This is what we must understand, said a water management consultant who gave advice to Mexico's Chamber of Deputies on the crisis. So the rivers are contaminated and the springs are overexploited, and their aquifers are overpumped, even though right here it says to address the problem, officials have said they will begin to dig more wells around the city alongside improving wastewater treatment to ensure all residents get enough water. So they're going to dig more wells into this same aquifer that is being so depleted that the land on top of it is sinking by 20 inches a year since 1950. So that is a lot of excessive water use. And look at here, people fill in buckets. They just don't know what to do. So this guy here says he's been without proper running water for more than 3 months. Sometimes it comes on for an hour or two, but only in a small trickle, barely enough to fill a couple of buckets, then nothing for many days. And he lives in Mexico City's Tlalpan district. He doesn't have a big storage tank, so they can't get truck deliveries, and there's simply nowhere to store it. He said he and his family eke out what they can buy and store. And even truck deliveries are becoming more expensive and harder to get right now. So it says that in one of these articles here. And right here it says, and there are still 4 months left for the rains to start. So it's going to start getting warmer now, and they don't expect rain for months. But the thing about that is rain for a season isn't going to replenish aquifers that have been being depleted beyond the rate of replenishment for decades. So yeah, right here, Mexico City's at 7,300 feet above sea level, and it stretches out across a high altitude lake bed, and which they say right here, which is now sinking and is prone to earthquakes and highly vulnerable climate change. Of course, everything's climate change. This couldn't just be natural weather patterns. There have been areas of droughts everywhere where people have set up civilizations based on water, and then they had to move on. So there's just nothing to say that, this isn't natural, but this population, millions of people, draining this aquifer for decades. But, it says right here, the rest of the city's water is pumped vast distances up hills from sources outside of the city in an incredibly inefficient process during which around 40% of the water is lost through leaks. So some people have been saying, well, just, fix the leaks. And again, when you're at almost day zero, the time to fix the leaks was a long, long time ago. It's so that they've been, they've known about this problem, and they like everywhere else, the American Southwest, they've gotten some rain lately, but they could be at day zero too, because people just don't take this seriously until the day they go and they turn on water and it's not there. And right out here, I don't think anyone is prepared. For nearly a decade, this lady said she's been warning officials of the danger of day zero for Mexico City. Oh, do I know what that's like, warning people and just, what, huh? Well, why are you bothering us? Oh my God, you like talking about important things, But right here, they say that she and her family often have to pay more than $100 from a tank of water from one of the city's water trucks, but it's getting worse. Sometimes more than 2 weeks go by without water, and she fears that may be coming. So right now, even if you have, a big tank to store water in, you're paying $100 for a tank. And it doesn't say how long that lasts, but that's a lot of money for a Mexican family. So right here, Mexico City, I don't know, are we going to have 22 million refugees? People leave when there's no water. And when there's no water to tap, you can't get anything from a dry stone. So we'll see what happens, people. Stay tuned.